Gotta make it Duracell.
It's the perfect world of America's Queen of Style.
Crime, poverty, in a world that smells of freshly baked bread. I don't think so.
Style and Substance series premiere CBS Monday.
Back at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, our head referee tonight out of the Big Ten is David Widvold with the coin toss.
I will remember the coin. I'm going to toss it. It'll fall on the ground. Call heads or tails while it's in the air. Ready? Call it. Heads it in. Syracuse, you've won the toss. You want to receive? Let's go when you defend. Turn and face that direction, please. And we'll receive.
These are two teams that average over 34 points per game, so that you know they want the football. And let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Michelle Tafoya. Michelle?
All right, with Syracuse coach Paul Pasqualoni, your first Alliance Bowl game. You said your team loves big games. They probably didn't need a lot of extra motivation. What'd you talk about in the locker room?
Well, they're so fired up. We told them to just come out here and play with some poise, and let's not be too excited and be jumping off sides. We can't be too fired up and make foolish mistakes.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
A head coach that began the season at 1-3, had everyone throwing dirt on his program, and now suddenly behind the leadership of McNabb, who could be back next year, is even talking more that way now than he was perhaps a week to 10 days ago, going up against Bill Snyder's team, a team that plays in the shadow of Big Red in the Big 12.
He's definitely closed the distance, though. I love what he says, how they just make small steps. Let's improve every day, and that's why they are 10-1 in the Fiesta Bowl this year.
Kansas State will kick off. They will have a bit of a following wind. Jamie Ream handles the kickoffs. Of course, they have the All-America field goal kicker Martin Gramatica, and back the Jim Turner and Kevin Johnson, two of the best. In fact, Kevin Johnson, with 14 returns this year, averaged 36.7 yards per return, failing to qualify by just a few returns for tops in the country.
And let's not forget that Kevin Johnson took the very first kickoff, first game of the season, the Kickoff Classic, way back in August. He took it all the way for 7.
It has been a marvelous 97. These two teams rewarded with an Alliance Bowl bid for the first time ever. And we head for 98. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is underway. Johnson at the 5. Hammered at the 20-yard line, only a 16-yard return. Down there to get him was Travis Litton. Donovan McNabb this year just under 2,500 yards in the air. The rushing touchdowns augmented by the passing touchdowns. He is truly double trouble for any defense that he may face.
Watch for Syracuse to run a lot of option today because of the gambling defense Kansas State runs. They'll try to keep pressure on their ends.
Quentin Spotwood will line up wide to the top. Travis Oakes, another outstanding linebacker for this team. He'll be spying McNabb all night. 3-step drop for Donovan, and he finds a safety valve. That's complete to Johnson. He's out beyond the 30 to the 31-yard line for the first down. And let's take a look at the rest of that starting lineup for Syracuse. The backs and receivers. McIntosh has come on strong. He and D. Brown will share time. Spotwood and Roland Williams at tight end also very dangerous. Up front, they love running back behind the left side. Pekachis and Kernan, they are the best. Corey Bowen is a young man that knows how to handle linebackers. He's got a big chore tonight. 1st and 10 on the Syracuse 32. A lot of formations, this time out of the wishbone, and it's McIntosh who catapults beyond the 35 to the 37-yard line. That's the problem that this Kansas State defense, revered throughout the year, will face tonight, all of the formations. And up front, you talk about McIntosh, he's got outstanding talent. 4.840 speed as well. The linebackers arguably the best in the country. Oakes and Semino flank Jeff Kelly, the aforementioned outstanding middle linebacker. Rashad Carter and Denmark are the quality corners for Bill Snyder's team. 2nd down and 5. Option, and this time Kansas State defends it well, and the aforementioned Jeff Kelly taking Donovan McNabb, reels him in just shy of the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 2 coming up.
This is why Donovan McNabb is so dangerous on both sides. You can see Jeff Kelly with the great speed making the tackle, but the strength of McNabb, 220 pounds. Jeff Kelly, they are really excited about playing this game. Here's a junior college guy. You got to wonder how he's handling the size of this ball game.
3rd down and a long 2. Out of the shotgun, complete. That's a 1st down. Quentin Spotwood coming up with his first reception. Dashad Carter, number 35, the cornerback, isolated man-to-man.
Offensive coordinator Kevin Rogers of Syracuse said the one thing that Spotwood does is catch the ball in traffic. He always concentrates on the ball. This is what they're going to try to do all night to Donovan McNabb, though. Right there, you see number 49, Darren Howard, laying a lick on Donovan.
Darrell Daniel is coming in wide out to the bottom of your screen on 1st and 10 at the Syracuse 49. The draw, which is a very effective play. McIntosh hammered by Cooper and Kelly, but again very effective off the play fake.
You're going to see they've tried some different running lanes against this KSU defense. You can see the defensive tackle has shifted down on the center, and that's where they want the hole, and they get a huge one. Kiernan, number 61, the left guard, got great push on the nose guard, made a huge lane. There's a look at Jim Turner, the offensive coordinator. He said with this extra week, Syracuse has given us a lot of time to put in new blocking schemes.
McNabb tucks it. Now heads for the outside. Donovan McNabb inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Carter finally tackles him. 29 yards.
It is so hard to defend a guy like this. It's a drop back pass. He finds nobody open. He's going to tuck it and go. Sometimes you'll see him pull the ball back up and look to pass. But now he saw a huge lane down the field and got some great blocks towards the end of the play. Took it all the way down to the 16-yard line, and Quentin Spotwood showing why he's one of the most valuable players. Not only does he make the big play, great punt returner, but watch him fighting Dashad Carter the whole time.
We've seen 5 different formations in this drive. This time, McIntosh is hammered by Darren Howard. He led the team in sacks, coming up with 11 this year, 1/2 sack shy of the school record.
131 tackles for loss this year by Kansas State. It's almost unbelievable how many times they get in the backfield. Darren Howard, the backside defensive end, with great speed, just chase McIntosh down from behind. And Pasqualoni knows you may have to start leaving that offensive tackle back on the backside.
Look at that. They held Iowa State to nada in their last game of the year. That game, by the way, played in Ames. 2nd down and 13. Post corner. And off the fade, nothing doing for Spotwood, the intended receiver. Dimitri Denmark was there with him. That's the first incompleted forward pass for McNabb. Well, you look at Bill Snyder. I think that perhaps the best way to describe him would be professorial. He considers himself a teacher, and he has taught this defense well with the help of defensive coordinator Mike Stoops. And if that name sounds familiar, he's the brother of Bobby Stoops, who helped engineer a defense for a national title under Steve Spurrier a season ago. 9th play of this drive for Syracuse. McNabb dumps it to Spotwood again. Plenty of cushion there in front of Dashad Carter, the redshirt freshman from Jefferson High School in Denver, Colorado.
This is why so many people are excited about McNabb. Spotwood's just running to an area and turn around. The ball's already in the air because McNabb was under heavy pressure. Spotwood, again, keeping great concentration on the ball the entire time. That's the one thing that they say. He doesn't have the great speed, but they know he can catch the ball in traffic.
Trout will try the field goal. Out of the hole to Keith Downing. 4th down and long 2 with a difficult angle. It's a knuckleball that did not get much air underneath it, but it does get through the uprights. 27-yard field goal off a quality drive to open the Tostitos Festival.
It's so powerful, it's almost scary. Boom. The muscle car lives. The new Firebird Trans Am by Pontiac.
This morning, strange things are happening all over the world. Shops are about to open empty. Parts suppliers are partless, and assembly workers have nothing to assemble. Is this any way to run a business? With FedEx it is. Every morning the world gets just what it wants, just when it needs it, without expensive warehousing. Gone today, here again tomorrow. Now that's the way the world works.
Your leg bone connects to your knee bone. Your knee bone connects to your thigh bone. Thigh bone connects to your hip bone.
Tropicana Pure Premium with calcium. It's a delicious way to help build strong bones. Tropicana Pure Premium with calcium.
Lever 2000, a tough deodorant clean, plus moisturizers for your skin. The touchable clean for all your 2000 parts.
In 1984, two computer scientists envisioned the impossible, a seamless network of computer networks. They invented the router, and Cisco Systems was born. Out of Cisco came internetworking, and now directing millions of messages a day. Their equipment makes the internet possible. Cisco will be there as web users soar to 200 million by the year 2000. Where do you learn about companies so integrated into the future? NASDAQ, shaping the new world of investing.
CBS Sports presentation of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is sponsored by the legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac. Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Tostitos tortilla chips and sauces. Now's a good time.
Trout out of Merritt Island, Florida, giving Syracuse a 3-0 lead. McNabb, a couple of completions for 32 yards. And a 72-yard drive culminating in the 3 points. Field goal was not pretty, but it certainly counted. And Trout will now handle the kicking chores. To Kansas State, this is only the 4th time that they have ever trailed in any game this year.
The dominance goes through the entire first half. They've outscored their opponents 212 to 53 on the year.
Gerald Niesman is back deep. He takes it at his 1. Stopped just shy of the 25-yard line by Kevin O'Neill, a reserve linebacker. A 24-yard return. Michael Bishop, junior college transfer out of Blinn. Willis, Texas is his home. That's just north of Houston. He is 34-1 as a starter when you take into account back-to-back unbeaten seasons as a junior college star.
Throw out every other stat. I mean, that's what you look at with a quarterback. Peyton Manning has a great record at Tennessee. A lot of the great quarterbacks in college, they have records like that. Throw all the other statistics out. That's the only one that counts.
They open with split backs, Brian Goolsby and Mike Lawrence. Goolsby. He forges ahead for a first down, a 12-yard pickup, and the rest of that starting lineup for Kansas State. Eric Hickson is just a marvelous story. He and Goolsby and Lawrence will get the lion's share of attention. They love to find Parise deep, Gavin Parise, number 87 at wideout. Up front, this is a team that really leans on Todd Weiner, number 75 at left tackle, senior out of Coral Springs, Florida, one of the true recruiting gems for Bill Snyder during his tenure. Lawrence cuts it back, picks up a couple in the arms of number 33, Keith Bullock, sophomore out of New York, and the rest of that Syracuse defense. They've done a quality job for longtime defensive coordinator Norm Gerber. Danish and Corley, great inside rushers. And you look at the linebackers, Antoine Pons makes big plays. Bullock has outstanding speed, and they're very high on the youngster Greenwood. We've talked about how good that secondary is. That perimeter with Jones and Darius, maybe the best pair of safeties on any one team in Division 1A football. Bishop. Like an extra tailback, Michael Bishop forces his head to about the 45-yard line, and Tebucky Jones, senior from New Britain, Connecticut, comes up to pop him. He has had a remarkable career. Look at that. In rushing, leadership, and also add to that the fact that this is a guy that leads the country in yards per completion, 19.5. So when he does throw it, he throws it deep.
And defines big play, had 194 yards rushing this year against Missouri. That was a Kansas State single game record.
Now a bit of the option. And on 3rd and 2, Bishop gets the first down at the Syracuse 49. And already in both of these drives, Ed, we are seeing what both McNabb and Bishop can do. They really are the difference in these offenses.
And a good option quarterback, Tim, knows that when it's 3rd and 2, a lot of times you're not going to pitch that ball. So get a fake, duck it up. You're going to get the 2 yards. Don't risk any kind of turnover.
Bill Snyder spent 10 years with Hayden Fry as an offensive coordinator before coming over to Kansas State. Movement by the nose tackle as Lawrence burrows ahead for about 5, maybe 6 yards. Got through the missed tackle of Derek Corley, number 99, and gained 7 yards. But it appeared there was premature movement by Syracuse. David Whitboat, our referee, with the preliminary indication.
Watches the quarterback kind of jerks his head and goes through his cadence, gets the nose guard to jump off sides. Derek Corley, number 99, got himself fooled by that hard count by Michael Bishop.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
This is a Big Ten officiating crew. David Whitboat is our referee tonight.
Big Ten crew deciding to come out to Tempe because the Big Ten hasn't fared so well in the bowl season so far.
Well, only Purdue a winner, and you begin to wonder in the other big games that are left in front of us only 24 hours from now and beyond how they may do. Play fake. Bishop on the run for Paris. Incomplete. There's an example, though. Flushed out of the pocket, throwing off the wrong foot. Just a bit too far for Paris. He has a howitzer for an arm.
Donovan Darius has pretty good coverage. Here comes the pressure by Corley, number 99. He throws that ball in the air, and it went almost 50 yards down the field. This guy has a cannon strapped to his shoulder.
Kansas State, they sold 23,000 seats, then asked for extra tickets, got 7,000 more. And if Federal Express could have worked out of Central New York, they may have had about 10,000 more here. Michael Lawrence carries inside the 45 to the 43, so 3rd down and about 4 coming up. Donald Dinkins in to make the stop. The ones that got out are very happy to be here, and for those that may be back at the airport stranded, we can show you your seats. There they are, just in the left corner of your screen.
There's all the area. People who could not show up. You can start seeing some purple, getting better seats, moving over in those empty seats.
We feel your pain, folks. Off the option, the pitch to Lawrence, and stopped by Donovan Darius. Very close to the first down. At first glance, it appears as if he may have made it, but they'll measure.
Ryan Goolsby, the fullback, throwing a great block on Tebucky Jones. Tebucky Jones should know something about blocking. Was a running back. Bill Snyder, he's in that area where if they didn't get it, Tim, you got to figure he would go for it on this 4th down on the plus side of the field.
Both of these teams want to keep the other team's quarterback off the field. He got a right foot mark. That usually means he got it. He did.
Tim, it doesn't matter if it's half a football or half a yard. It's still a first down.
Officials always argue that with me. They say it never matters, but somehow it seemingly does.
Watch Brian Goolsby, the fullback, on the option. The pitch to Lawrence, and he gets that block on Tebucky Jones. Tebucky Jones would have made the stop clearly short of the first down, but Goolsby got downfield and cleared the way.
Darnell McDonald is in at one wide receiver spot. Comes to the bottom of your screen on 1st and 10 from the Syracuse 41. Goolsby first had to dodge Keith Bullitt and then wound up in the arms of Jason Walters. And let's go down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, guys, K-State quarterback Michael Bishop was so fired up here in the sidelines during the opening drive by Syracuse when the Wildcat defense was on the field that the K-State assistant coaches actually had to pull him back into the bench area because he was all ready to run out onto the field yelling at his teammates. Very fiery individual, guys.
You need that at that position, Michelle, that's for sure.
Got to be careful, though, Tim. You don't want to get too excited. Got to keep yourself calm in a big game like this.
Ninth play of the drive. Lawrence. Kansas State trying to prove a point with its inside running game. Bucky Jones comes up to make the stop. And you talk about it always, the pressing style, and Mike Stoops has had an impact on Norm Gerber's defense. In fact, his brother Bobby may have had a better impact, but they are going to challenge those safeties that are going to come up and provide an extra body to be blocked.
Bucky Jones might as well be playing linebacker as close as he is to the line of scrimmage, and Bishop needs to know that if they don't have the right count, if they're overmatched on numbers, he has to get out of that running play.
3rd down, 6. Hickson is in the game now, running back. Play fake to him, a naked bootleg. Bishop stopped well shy of a first down at the 35. Donovan Darius not fooled. And 4th down and 3 coming up for Kansas State. And remember, they have Martin Gramatica, who has kicked 3 field goals in excess of 50 yards this year. In fact, he only missed 1 field goal all season, 19 for 20, 37 of 38 in extra points.
The one he missed was a 44-yarder against Oklahoma into the wind, so this guy has plenty of leg for this kid.
This will be a 52-yard boot. And he will have a little helping wind. Appeared to hook it. No good. So their drive stymied by Syracuse in their ability to handle that bootleg play. And Gramatica comes up with only his 2nd miss of this season. You got to believe he'll get a few more cracks in this game. This one figures to go down to the wire on New Year's Eve in Tempe.
Nothing goes together quite like the great taste of Tostitos tortilla chips and Tostitos salsa. Tostitos, the perfect chip for the perfect salsa. Now's a good time.
Hey, buddy, I'll trade you my scarf for that last Bud Light. Come on. But the hat? That's fair. What more could you possibly want, huh? Oh.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
I never said it was the last one.
Make it a Bud Light.
Wouldn't you rather have something under the hood than on it? This is the supercharged Bonneville. One of the world's most powerful sports sedans. Inside and out. It's time traditional luxury collected some dust. Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
Double or nothing.
The Magnificent Seven, 2-hour series premiere CBS Saturday.
The rare air in the mountain time zone of Tempe, Arizona. Side of this year's Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the 27th edition. And after a missed field goal, and by the way, Gramatica had last missed one on October the 25th against Oklahoma. So that too is rare. Syracuse takes over. Option play into the boundary. Kevin Johnson, number 12, ahead to the 45-yard line. Look at that. Oklahoma was a 45-yard field goal, and that was just one of those angles, a natural soccer style that will have a draw or hook on the ball, and that time he just got in front of it a bit.
Soccer style, the key word there. Grew up in Buenos Aires, Argentina, so you know that's what he did with his childhood, was play a lot of soccer.
Yeah, he has a 14-year-old brother that's already kicked 145 yards this year in high school. On first down, McNabb gets tied up and hits the turf a couple of yards behind the line. Loss of 3.
Little mix up with the offensive line. One of them got pushed back a little bit, and then Nick Sedano ran into him and knocked him down.
Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, they're calling it a sellout for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and they can thank their friends in the state of Kansas, bringing better than 30,000 to make it just that. Second down, 13. With Ed Cunningham and Michelle Tafoya, Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. In the option, and K-State is right there. And did a marvelous job of taking away the running back option, Kyle McIntosh.
Jeff Kelly with his great speed. Take a look at this play. In virtual reality, it's the double option. What they're going to try to do is get very quickly to the end of the line of scrimmage. The fullback is nothing but a fake. Donovan Darius spins out backwards, comes into the line of scrimmage, reads this linebacker right here. He has a double read, and he'll either pitch it or take it himself. But that time, they had 2 guys out there for him to read, Semino and Clement, the linebackers.
Third down and 12 for Syracuse. McNabb flushed. Here's where he's dangerous. Looking long and incomplete. Quality coverage down there by Lamar Chapman. He was right with Quentin Spotwood. Chapman, sophomore from Liberal, Kansas. Nothing liberal about this coverage.
You can see the corner blitz by number 35, Daishar Carter. And then Lamar Chapman has to come from his safety spot. Did not bite the fake. That is textbook coverage. Watch the man the whole way and run with him.
And the punt by Duncan. Down to David Allen at the 6. Collard at the 11-yard line. A 51-yard boot. And Darius, along with Jason Poles, down there to hog time. Kansas State trails by 3, opening quarter in Tempe.
With the North Star system. DeVille, for the time of your life.
The worst was I'd be at a party and someone would light up a cigarette, and that cigarette would look like filet mignon to me. My mouth would practically water. Without Nicorette gum, I could never have quit. I could chew a piece when I needed it, and I would regain control, and it would soothe my cravings fast. After a piece of Nicorette, a cigarette would only look like top round to me, and that I could resist.
Nicorette gum helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Oh, man, just a sandwich? I almost left my soup on the bus.
Nothing turns an ordinary sandwich into a satisfying meal, like the taste of rich, wholesome Campbell's soup.
Hey, is that my soup?
No, your mother gave you chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
My mother gave me tomato.
Hey, here we go again.
Campbell's makes everything.
This holiday season, if you choose to drink alcohol, be responsible. Drink in moderation and choose a designated driver who doesn't drink at all.
The tradition of the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic rolls on tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time. Skip Hicks, Brandon Stewart among the many you'll see. The Bruins against the Aggies. And then, to settle the alliance issue, number 2 Nebraska, number 3 Tennessee. And if what could happen does, who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of those men, both from Nebraska and Tennessee, in that quality matchup down at the Orange Bowl.
I bet Peyton Manning has lost the number of times he's had ice on that knee and ankle getting ready for this one.
First down, 10, Kansas State. At the 11, Hickson. Only a yard shy of the first down. A gain of 9 for Eric Hickson, a senior from Fort Lauderdale. Has a metal rod in his left leg after a very severe injury just 12 months ago.
The left side of that offensive line, Todd Weiner doing a nice job getting his man to stretch. And Lawrence reads it and gets right up inside of that nice block by big number 79, Todd Weiner.
Eric said that injury really put life and the game in perspective. And they're happy to have him back. He did not get to play in that Cotton Bowl game against BYU last year. And he gets a big-time greeting from Jeff Danish off the pitch, just shy of the 20. Jeff Danish, senior from Staten Island.
Coming back from a torn ACL last year. Watch number 63 fight off 2 blocks and get up the field. He said he finally feels healthy. The last 4 ball games, well, this is the 5th since he started feeling healthy. And with hits like that, man, he is feeling real healthy. And unfortunately, Eric Hickson's probably feeling a little shaky right now.
3rd and 2. And Syracuse handles the option. He does manage the 22-yard line. It will be very close. Keith Bullock, along with Dulane Morgan, collaborate. And we could have a measurement, and it doesn't appear as if Bill Snyder's happy with the spot. At first glance, it appeared that he was well short of it, but that last surge by Bishop got him close.
You know, when you see Bishop, when you see him practice and in just shorts and T-shirts, he's a very big, physical, strong guy. He might as well be listed as a quarterback and a running back because he has the ball in his hands. You're never sure what they're going to do with it.
The length of the football short of the first down. Kansas State stopped yet again, and they'll have to punt it away. Syracuse figures to get quality field position.
One of the things Paul Pasqualoni said that scared him was their kicking game. They've got great punters, great kickers, and he said if we get into a field position battle, Kansas State has the definitive edge.
James Garcia very helpful in that regard. Also the holder for Grammatica on those field goals and extra points. You look at Spotwood, second-team All-America kick returner, 4 returns for touchdowns this year.
It's a new Big East record. It ties an NCAA record.
Fair catch called for. And the ball is down at the 32-yard line. A 48-yard punt. Cephas Scott down there to down it for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for the Orangemen. They'll have it at their own 32 when we come back to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Hope my car gets fixed today.
And my sink. And my furnace. And my lawnmower.
What? You idiot! You're gonna get us caught.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down,
Eddie!
make it a Bud Light.
They look the same on the outside, but inside, it's a whole different story. Because Duracell alkaline batteries outlast Energizer in the devices you use most. Better make it Duracell.
And this person writes, how many winners in the sweepstakes with your picture?
Good question. Enough winners to fill 3 football stadiums.
Still more winners coming up in just weeks.
And we're looking for another $11 million winner right now.
Could be you. Enter.
The nest is empty. Your work is done.
So powerful.
It's time to kick back and have some fun.
So agile.
You got the car now.
DeVille with the North Star system.
For who you are now, you're making whoopee.
DeVille for the time of your life.
Oh, look at you.
The madness is coming.
Wittenberg, it's a long way. They won it. DeLader puts it up. Yes! A milestone victory for Arizona. Simon says championship.
March Madness, only on CBS.
Syracuse with a 3-0 lead with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. The MetLife blimp Snoopy 2 is under the command of Captain Brian Comer. This year, Snoopy is proud to celebrate his 10th anniversary as co-pilot of the MetLife blimp, giving us some beautiful pictures of the desert tonight.
You wonder what happened to Snoopy 1.
D. Brown is in the backfield for Donovan McNabb as Syracuse opens from the 32. Brown gets it. Forges ahead to about the 35. First to make contact, Travis Oakes, number 50, 4.0 student out of Overland Park, Kansas. Played somewhat in the shadow of Jeff Kelly this year, the Big 12 newcomer on the defensive side of the ball, but he and Joe Bob Clements. And don't you think every team in the Big 12 needs at least one linebacker with 2 first names?
If you're Kansas, Texas, or Oklahoma, you have to have it.
Gotta have a Joe Bob. 2nd and 5. Brown trying to get off the corner and now cuts back. Very good move. First down, Syracuse up at the 47-yard line.
And you have to know how good D. Brown is, because Jeff Kelly, one of the best linebackers in America, is going to miss this tackle. Great feat by Brown to just get him out of the way. High step, a former option quarterback. He's real good in space.
D. Brown, redshirt freshman, has considerable playing time in his future. 555 yards this year. Couple of carries in this game for 15. He's finding an opening. They have found a seam in that Kansas State alignment. The gap is there. Chapman closing from free safety to make the stop. And this Kansas State defense is all about gap responsibility.
When you play a gambling style of defense, you have to be responsible for all your gaps. Watch the linebacker here, Jeff Kelly. He's going to try to fill. Great block by Sudano, number 35, as he goes down to his legs and opens up the hole.
That's the end of the first quarter with our score 3-0 Syracuse. We'll return to Sun Devil Stadium after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill's weakness takes center court.
There's only one place to go for the irresistible taste of America's favorite fries. Did somebody say McDonald's? Now come to McDonald's and vote for your favorite NBA All-Star.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Meet America's Queen of Style.
Where do you keep your melon baller? I don't have one. I guess this is what it would be like if I was forced to cook in a Turkish prison.
Style and Substance series premiere CBS Monday. For college football action, the address is CBS. Welcome home.
May I take your order, please? Excuse me?
He said he wants chili.
When it's cold, nothing but a hot bowl of Wendy's rich and meaty chili will do, so we keep it simmering all day long. And it's just 99 cents on our super value menu.
Chili. No. Baked potato.
Or warm up with a 99-cent sour cream and chive baked potato, slow baked in an oven.
Chili. No, baked potato.
No, it's Carlin Star.
Wendy's 99-cent super value menu, 10 delicious choices every day.
Next February, the world's most dramatic stories will unfold before your eyes on a mountaintop a world away. Stories of triumph, passion, glory. And the only place you'll see them is right here on 12 WKRC. And for the stories that touch you a little closer to home, 12 News brings you the latest news and most accurate weather forecast in the tri-state. The Olympic Winter Games on 12 WKRC.
Share a moment with the world. Don't drink and drive. Call CareCab at 281-CARE.
Syracuse with a 3-0 lead here at the Fiesta Bowl. Michelle Tafoya with you here on the sideline. Syracuse quarterback Donovan McNabb will graduate in May, but he has one more year of eligibility left. However, he's thinking about foregoing that for the NFL. Now, Paul Pasqualoni told us that he wants to meet with McNabb and his parents as soon as possible after this game to discuss Donovan's options. Donovan Darius gave us his thoughts, and I'll give you those after the play, guys.
We open the second quarter along with Michelle and Ed Cunningham, Tim Brando. Second down, a yard to go.
Yeah.
Nick Sedano with his first carry. And it will be very close. Let's go back down to Michelle.
Well, guys, as I was mentioning, Donovan Darius thought about leaving early, but he came back for his final season. He said if McNabb has anything left he can learn on the college level, and if he can live with his financial situation for one more year, he should stay. And that's the decision Darius made, and it certainly paid off for him. Guys?
And Donovan Darius more than happy he came back for his senior year. Had a lot of things thrown on his shoulder. Took over the raising of his two younger brothers this semester. Got them to graduate from high school. A lot of things were thrown on this guy's shoulder. But he said, you know, my first 2 years we didn't go to a bowl game. How nice is it in my 5th year to be a captain in the Fiesta Bowl and Alliance Bowl?
So we pay our respects to both Christopher and Antoine, the two youngsters. Antoine apparently will head to Milford Academy. And they love and care for their older brother greatly. They're now back with their mom watching this game tonight. But you see, it is third down and less than a yard. And they'll go out of the wishbone. McNabb keeps it, should have the first down.
Scott Kieran, the left guard, number 61, big 300-plus pounder. The best drive blocker of that offensive line, and Donovan McNabb knows I just need to get behind that big fella and get the first down. Watch the push by the offensive line as they drive the purple back. You can see Kieran and Boa in the center just burying the nose guard, and McNabb knows step to your left and get right over the top, stretch the ball out for the first down. Nice job by McNabb to know who to follow on that offensive line.
First down and 10 from the 43 of Kansas State. Up the middle, Sedano. Well, you really have to admire right now Kevin Rogers' scheme, the offensive coordinator. Chapman again comes up with a saving tackle of Nick Sedano.
Watch Donovan McNabb. He'll turn to the opposite side of the play and hand it off to Sedano. It really is tough for the linebackers because they're thinking the option's going to run to the left, and it comes back to the right. There's a look at Rogers, the offensive coordinator, in the booth for this game, calling a masterful game so far, keeping this Kansas State defense on their toes.
He said McNabb was beautiful. His calling has been beautiful to this point.
He's done a nice job.
Double tight end look. Williams and Senseno both in the game. Movement by K-State up front as McIntosh manages the 31. Jared Cooper, number 40, redshirt freshman from Pearland, Texas, made the stop. Penalty apparently against Kansas State, as we mentioned. Preliminary indication is such.
We saw earlier Bishop does a nice job drawing the Syracuse defense offside, and Derek Howard there.
Defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, results in a first down.
With the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll select a genuine Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
Right now, there's quite a few guys making that push, Tim. A lot of guys playing extremely well so far.
That's a telling stat. Syracuse by a 3-1 margin in offense. To the wide side of the field, the option. Late pitch, and Chapman, who is responsible for coming up with Brown, able to knock him out.
Becoming obvious that Syracuse likes to use D. Brown on the edge. Chapman had the angle on that tackle. You'll see all 22 players. Here's Chapman. He's got to come up and fill on the pitch man as McNabb reads the defensive end. You can see Chapman reads it, little stutter step, almost has the angle, but D. Brown just outruns him for the 5-yard gain. Nice job by Brown. It's obvious, though, that Kansas State is having a little tough time with the speed of D. Brown.
2 minutes deep into the second quarter and a quick game. Very fast-paced game with a lot of option. 9th play of this drive. Incomplete. Thrown at the feet of Spotwood. Carter is tough to go up against. We asked Dimitri Denmark and Carter about the matchup, and both of them said, by far, this is our greatest challenge in having to handle the speed of Jim Turner and the playmaking ability of Quentin Spotwood.
Unfortunately for McNabb, he threw that ball a little low because Spotwood had position. Nice coverage by Carter, but he let Spotwood inside, and McNabb just couldn't get enough air under that ball.
3rd down and 7. And again, they've taken time off the clock. This is the 9th play of the drive. Just got the play off. Incomplete. And again, Carter right there. They are very physical. That is what Mike Stoops and brother Bobby have taught their defensive corners, and you have to be very physical if you're going to play man coverage.
And Carter is allowed to be physical. There's a good look at Mike Stoops in the box for Kansas State. He allows them to be aggressive because they are never on a complete island. He says we always leave our cornerbacks with deep safety help, and it allows them to really take some chances up close to the line of scrimmage.
Trout will now attempt a 43-yarder. He's converted one, and he didn't get all of it. It's a fake. Downing's a backup quarterback. But Kansas State up to the test. Dimitri Denmark stayed home. And mark this play down. It could be a turning point in the first half. Syracuse had them on their heels. Downing apparently looking for just a run. No option to throw, and Denmark stayed home along with Travis Oaks. We'll be back.
How fast do I really have to be going before I get a ticket?
The law's the law.
What is it, 5, 10 miles over?
Deli-style Lays. Ooh. Well, it's a guessing game out there, Mike. Here, let me show you something.
72?
Yep.
Let me see that. 90. Hey, you're fast.
Put crunch in your lunch. New Lay's Deli Style.
Today, in the Atlantic Fleet,
on board USS Enterprise, character was forged.
Valor was commended.
Minds were enlightened.
Lessons were learned.
Fears were conquered.
Worlds were discovered.
Honor was defined. Courage was found. Commitment was sealed.
Today on board USS Enterprise,
Over 5,000 journeys began anew.
What did you do?
What did you do today?
Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
Computers, they're like a tutor. They help you learn.
Guess what I want to look up today? Spiders. Do you like spiders?
We looked in ancient Egypt at their cities.
I play chess.
Cool, I found a shark.
That's gotta hurt.
It's cool to be smart.
Let me show you what it's all about.
Oh, let's see. Oh, it says you've been seen in the movies.
That should read at the movies.
And you've built models, but never really actually modeled. Well, quite frankly, you the man!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Is she my co-star?
Now she is.
3-0 our score, Syracuse, and they attempt a fake, and you have to wonder with the way the game's been going Ed, to this point, with no option to throw the football, you have to wonder about that call.
Well, it's starting to turn into a real field position battle, and you wonder why Pasqualoni would want to give them the ball. Fairly good field position, about the 24-yard line, but must not have had much confidence in the leg of Trout.
Well, that first field goal, you'll recall, was a bit of a knuckleball and was kicked at a far less distance than this attempt was, but I think it certainly has given Kansas State some momentum.
When you come back on the field after a fake like that didn't work, you're right, Tim. Kansas State comes with a little momentum. Bishop maybe has had some time to calm himself down. The junior college transfer a little fired up early in this game.
Play fake. Bishop. Oh, beautiful pass to the tight end Swift. Justin Swift, junior from Overland Park, Kansas, played at Blue Valley High School. And he received this one right between the 8 and the 6.
Now you see why they are very excited about Michael Bishop. Look at the zip he puts on that ball. That's about a 25-yard out route that went on a line. Man, this guy has a great arm.
23 yards on that completion. You see the numbers. So far, McNabb a bit more productive. Kansas State's been stopped on short yardage. This time the pass, another dart, not reeled in by Swift, and that sometimes can be the problem. There were complaints when he was in junior college of blisters and also actual cuts after trying to bring in one of his passes.
You just saw two different catches by Justin Swift. One was the 25-yard out where the ball's going to slow down a little bit on the way. Offensive lineman, basically a tight end. He's got to wear a lot of tape and gloves, but that ball was thrown on a dart, only 10 yards. Ball gets there very quickly for a big tight end to get his mitts on it.
Yeah, well, receiving the ball, you may need more tape from this guy.
Maybe some padding underneath as well.
Bishop again, crossing padding right to Swift. At the 28-yard line, first down to Bucky Jones, tackled him.
Going to see Bucky Jones has to cover the tight end as close as he is to the line of scrimmage. Everyone sucks up because of the play fake, and Swift just has enough separation from Jones. Great pass again by Bishop. They're going to start abusing that tight end if Syracuse does not get the safeties covering him a little quicker.
We'll see Jared Gross-Didier a bit later, a basketball player also, at that tight end spot. And again, they have found the soft spot, and it is Swift. He has 3 catches in the last 4 plays. He only had 17 through the regular season.
And if Bishop could have taken something off a ball a few plays ago, he would be 4 for 4 on catches. Watch the arm strength of Bishop. I know we keep talking about it. Little pressure coming from Corley. He threw with no feet planted, Tim. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL, college, high school, I don't care where they play, that have the arm strength to throw a bullet off the ground.
Yeah, and in the face of Bucky Jones. Second down. Trying to get it done on his own. We have a marker down. They'll have to check the flag. Plenty of help by Lane Morgan that time, along with Antoine Pons, number 50. The senior from Jacksonville, Florida, at middle linebacker. Leading tackler for the Orangemen during this season. And a preliminary indication from Bishop, it's against the Orangemen. And again, we point back to the fake field goal. We've seen nothing but success since for Kansas State.
Paul Pasqualoni may have been trying to send a message to his team that, hey, we're going to try to do everything we can to help you win this ball. He's telling everybody, calm down a little bit. Don't get too excited. But he knows Kansas State is putting together a beautiful drive, and his defense has to bat it down a little bit.
5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Remember this play. It clearly could be the turning point of this first half.
They're actually trying to run the option with the holder. He never even looks at Trout as the option, and if he would have, Tim, Trout may have taken that for a touchdown. There was nobody out there covering the pitch on that fake.
Since then, 4 plays, 52 yards, and 4 completions. 2nd and 1. Touchdown, McDonald. Penalty, but it's against Syracuse. You can count the 6. Seventh touchdown reception of the year for Darnell McDonald. Gramatica for the extra point.
Bishop has been beautiful on this drive. A little semi-rollout, get the guy out of the pocket, comes back across the field, puts good air on the ball, underthrew it just a little bit, but McDonald at 6'3" goes up to the highest point of the ball. It is like getting a rebound in basketball. Great route. You can see the hands as they're fighting against each other to get up in the air. They're going to let that happen no matter what. They let those guys play.
Bishop 0 for 1 in the first quarter, 4 for 5 in the second, and a touchdown pass.
Welcome to Saturn.
I think I hit a rock.
You all right?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
You know, I don't see any body damage.
Now I think about it because it was rolling. It may have been a prairie dog.
All right. We'll take a look at the car. Everything checked out with the car.
Really? That's weird.
Hey, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Mr. Finley, your car is fine.
Really? Here comes the whippoorwill from this side of the car.
At Saturn, all our service centers are linked up to a nationwide network of computers that provide us with all kinds of important information.
It's time to start your New Year's diet. So include the Kellogg's Special K breakfast and make up for the way you ate this holiday season. Kellogg's Special K. Lose the holiday fat.
He will have only one chance. The men's Olympic downhill returns to CBS. Share a breathtaking moment with the world.
Kansas State with the first touchdown of this game, 7-3. One junior college star to another, Darnell McDonald. Look at the concentration, Ed.
We didn't realize how great this catch was until we saw. One hand going up, the ball stays on his body and does not touch the ground.
76 yards on 5 plays. The 3 completions to the tight end, huge in that series for Bishop. And 2 of the 12 junior college signees, 10 of which played 4 start, the stars of that drive for K-State. Green's kick down to Kevin Johnson. Flags down behind the play as he's up to the 21-yard line. Thrown in an area where you expect a block in the back or perhaps a blitz. And that will put Pasqualoni's team in very poor field position for this drive.
But as Syracuse coaches know, they've been in this position a lot this year, Tim. They started the season 1-3, lost a tight one to NC State.
During the return, hold on the returning team. Half the distance penalty, first down.
And he knows how confident, Paul Pasqualoni knows how confident his players are. This is not new territory for his team. Get them settled down and stick to your game plan. Don't start throwing everything out and throwing it down the field. Continue to run the option and putting pressure on the corners of this Kansas State defense.
Well, we've seen the option in the running game. That's why it's been such a quickly played half. Kansas State went to the air 5 times in their drive. Let's see what McNabb decides to do here from his own 5. McIntosh stopped behind the line. Chapman and Carter both come up to give help to Mark Semino, number 42.
How have we forgotten to talk about Mark Semino? He was a freshman All-American last year. This year, first team All Big 12. Watch him fill. Although he doesn't make the tackle, he made McIntosh move into a big pile. He couldn't get to the hole he wanted to. Mark Semino, a leader on this team, the first sophomore ever under Bill Snyder to be elected a captain.
Out of Smith Center, Kansas. Second and 12. Batted down. Oh, number 56 got his big mid up there. Junior transfer, Fort Scott Community College. Another junior college transfer making a play.
Nice job by a guy who's kind of a squatty body, 6 foot, 290 pounds, Rogos, but gets that hand up, about a 5-inch vertical and knock it down. And he gets excited because, trust me, Tim, there is a lot of purple in that end of this stadium.
It's early, but this is very important to Syracuse. 10:03 to play in the second. They've just surrendered the first score after a decision to go for a fake field goal. And he will pump it. Now tuck it. Incomplete. 5 incompletions consecutively for McNabb, and he's beginning to pay a heavy price.
These linebackers from Kansas State, man, are they tough. Watch him come up to try to throw the ball, and bam! What a shot by Jeff Kelly. Very surprised. Flag could have been called on that a little late, but those pops will start to add up as this game goes on.
Not much room for Duncan to get this one away. David Allen, normally back, now moving up from the 50 and towards the 45 of Syracuse. Set up for the return. It's a line drive, and it's returnable. Flag comes down as he reverses field at the 35-yard line. And Kansas State will have to give up some of that quality field position after a 38-yard punt.
By number 10, Bill Nash.
Syracuse's cover team did an outstanding job. It appeared as if he may have a lot of room up the middle, and that room was taken away very quickly.
Dimitri Denmark, I think, was called for the holding the cornerback from Kansas State.
Hold on the returning team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And that's one thing Bill Snyder knows. On when you start getting this field position more, you cannot have dumb penalties like that.
All that being said, K-State will have it at the Syracuse 46 when we come back.
Nothing goes together quite like the great taste of Tostitos tortilla chips and Tostitos salsa. Tostitos, the perfect chip for the perfect salsa. Now's a good time.
They look the same on the outside, but inside, it's a whole different story. Because Duracell alkaline batteries outlast Energizer in the devices you use most. Better make it Duracell.
Do I hear 2,000 for a date with supermodel Jennifer? 2,000.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals?
Sold to number 10 for $2,000.
Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
We drive family sedans, 4x4s, and small city cars. We carry groceries. We carry lumber. We carry life. And we all want to feel safe doing it. Making a lot of different cars and trucks makes us, well, the car company. Making them all deliver the things that matter most makes us GM. The company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors. People in motion.
CBS Sports presentation of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is sponsored by the company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors, people in motion. Gillette, watch for the Gillette $1 million touchdown challenge during the FedEx Orange Bowl pregame on January 2nd. And by Tostitos tortilla chips and sauces. Now's a good time.
Along with Ed Cunningham and Michelle Tafoya, Tim Brando, you look at our game summary. Kansas State lighting it up in that last drive to take command. 7-3. Bishop really warming up in that last series.
4 of 5 on that drive to score the touchdown. What a great, kind of slow early on. They didn't throw the ball much, and now they're starting to let him run it.
Matt Ganguish and Mike Lawrence now in the backfield behind Bishop. Play fake. On that corner route, incomplete. Parise, the intended receiver, Gavin Parise, the junior transfer from South Pasadena, California. played at Pasadena Community College. And total offense, most of it in the air for Kansas State in that last drive. Syracuse with few opportunities, and when they've had them, in very poor field position.
And it's just flip-flop from the first quarter. Syracuse had almost double what Kansas State had in the first quarter, and we see the flip-flop of that. Bill Snyder and his offensive coaches are obviously seeing something where their safeties at Syracuse are not coming up and picking up the tight ends.
2nd and 10. Option to the wide side. Look out. Down to the 31-yard line. That's 14 for Bishop, and he's playing with swagger now.
Somebody from Syracuse has to come up and force the pitch. The only way to defend the option is to get it out of the quarterback's hands. You can see Antoine Pons playing what's called a feather technique, where he tries to take the quarterback and the running back. I can tell you right now, that does not work. You have to go hit the quarterback in the mouth and make him get rid of the football.
5 for 31 for Bishop. Moreland Greenwood, the redshirt freshman, made that last saving tackle. And again, the play fake. 3 in the pass pattern, and he'll tuck it again. First down for Bishop inside the Orangeman 20. 13 big yards this time. Well, you wonder why Scott Frost couldn't get enough votes to be all Big 12. This guy may be the reason.
You know, the thing that's amazing about this, number 56, Dulane Morgan, is going to be the guy chasing him. Now, he's a big defensive end at 255 pounds. This guy long jumped almost 24 feet in high school, so he's got some wheels. Bishop runs right away from him. God, what a threat at quarterback to have a guy who can run that fast and have that strong of an arm.
Sort of a quarterback draw with a marker down this time. That was designed for Bishop all the way. Stopped near the 15-yard line by Derek Corley, number 99. That's the 301-pound sophomore from Jacksonville. And Syracuse with more difficulty on the defensive side.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Let's go down to Michelle.
Well, guys, Michael Bishop getting a lot of help from the Wildcat offensive line, which outweighs the Orange line by almost 15 pounds per player. All told, Kansas State's offensive line weighs a combined 1,560 pounds. That's 316 pounds a player. More in a second.
If they were in the NFL, they would be the 3rd heaviest offensive line in the NFL.
Off the option. Lawrence hammered back to the 14-yard line. Well, you talk about that offensive line and how big they are. And running behind Weiner, number 75, he's a young man that was recruited as a defensive player, grew from a tight end into a tackle.
215 pounds. He came in as a tight end, built himself into a 300-pound road grader. He's actually slipped down a little below 300 pounds with the length of the season, but he said as an offensive line, every Thursday night during the season, we go out for dinner as a group. He said during bowl week, every night was Thursday. We hit all the best restaurants in Phoenix.
You'll pardon the cliche, not just corn-fed, this offensive line. Bishop pops outside. Touchdown! For the extra point. 7 carries now for Bishop for 55 yards. Now he has a touchdown on the ground.
Michael Bishop making this Syracuse defense play. Ended up in a man coverage. That's why they couldn't get anybody up to get on Michael Bishop. He goes untouched for his 10th touchdown of the season.
You know, they've compared him to Cordell Stewart. He once smashed apples on his head before every game in junior college. He may not be Slash, but tonight he is smashing.
Yesterday, it was just an idea, a notion, a whim. A few hours ago, it was a yearning, a dream. And then, as if by magic, overnight it all came to be. Wishes crossed the sea, ideas took flight, and yearnings and cravings in all four corners of the earth were satisfied. It wasn't always this way, but with FedEx, it's the way the world works.
Looking for more space? Try the next Century. It's got the most interior space of any vehicle in its class. Because extra space is one luxurious touch that's appreciated by families everywhere. The new Century by Buick is also a Consumer's Digest Best Buy, making Century one of the best values on earth.
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Campbell's makes everything.
Click on to CBSSportsline.com and submit your vote from our list of college football all-time greatest teams. Select one of the nominees in our website. Then tune in to our college game coverage of the nominees on our website in the FedEx Orange Bowl on January 2nd and find out who is the fan's choice in the CBSSportsline.com all-time greats poll.
I'm going to have to click in and vote for my team, Tim, I think.
Johnson only to the 10. And since the fake field goal, it has been all Wildcats.
Jared Cooper, redshirt freshman strong safety playing on special teams. And here you take a look at the fake field goal, where if they just would have gone to the pitch man, who was their kicker, lined up to the left of the holder, if they would have gone to him, you would have had a touchdown. Nobody was out there. The holder decided to keep the football, and that's why this game has switched momentum to Kansas State.
Since that play, Syracuse 4 plays for -2 yards. Draw. And on the delay, McIntosh gets out ahead to the 15, perhaps the 16-yard line. Lamar Chapman and Damian McIntosh combined on the stop. Paul Pasqualoni, you won't find a guy that works any harder in preparing a team for any game, and his bowl record speaks for itself. He's 4-0.
One of those coaches who has a cot in his office, spends quite a few nights a week in there during the season.
Well, reportedly, one of the very few Division 1A coaches. There are 112 schools to have never been married.
So that's why he gets to sleep in the office all the time.
And a timeout taken by McNair. Yeah, Daniel in motion was not going to get the playoff in front of that 25-second play clock. He'll try to end the confusion in the remaining 6:52 of the first half.
Looking for more space? Try the next Century. It's got the most interior space of any vehicle in its class. Because extra space is one luxurious touch that's appreciated by families everywhere. The new Century by Buick is also a Consumer's Digest Best Buy, making Century one of the best values on earth.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill's weakness takes center court.
There's only one place to go for the irresistible taste of America's favorite fries. Did somebody say McDonald's? Now come to McDonald's and vote for your favorite NBA All-Star.
We're back at Erickson Stadium where we're down to the final seconds of the game and it's still tied. The kick's high. And
Ericsson mobile phones. Catch the excitement.
Jim Nance back in Miami. Coming up on the College Football Today halftime report, Craig James and Lou Holtz join me. We'll hear from the other FedEx Orange Bowl quarterback, Scott Frost, and take a look at Texas A&M's remarkable DAP win. That's coming up at halftime. Now back to the game.
All right, Jim, we look forward to that at halftime. The 1960 Cotton Bowl, a matchup between #1 Syracuse and #2 Texas. Ernie Davis opened up the scoring in the first quarter when he caught this touchdown pass from running back Gershwaites. In the second quarter, he would have another touchdown. And the legend that is Ernie Davis would make its move into the Cotton Bowl. That ensured their first national title, and the Cotton Bowl is coming your way tomorrow. UCLA and Texas A&M. Skip Hicks, Brandon Stewart, among the many stars you'll see. UCLA, arguably the hottest team in the country. No one wants any of them in the postseason. The Aggies are going to have to deal with them in their home state. That's tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time, New Year's Day. 2nd and 3. McNabb flooding the zone and finding Brown for a key first down, and a late flag long after the play had come to a halt. It appeared as if Cooper perhaps carried Brown too far outside the boundary, and he's going to be flagged. 16 yards on that completion. And you can tack on a bit more.
Now Syracuse needs to take advantage of this. They've now got good field position because of the play. Nice little rollout.
Dead ball. Personal foul, late hit on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
You've got to be smarter than this. As a guy is going down out of bounds, you have to be able to stop yourself and get away from him. Do not make this tackle. It's obvious he's out of bounds. And to make it even worse, Cooper was going to his head. He's got to be smarter than that. Now they get the ball at midfield, and they're away from all that noise, Tim.
Freshman mistake by Cooper. But he's a redshirt freshman. In the mind of Mike Stoops, he's a sophomore. McIntosh breaks through Joe Bob Clement's tackle and gets ahead for another couple of yards. Jeff Kelly polishes him up. We're at the sold-out Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the 27th edition. How far this game has come. When you think back, it used to be the Arizona State Invitational during the Frank Cush era.
And we are playing at Frank Cush Field, aptly named after the head coach at Arizona State, who had all those great teams.
And speaking of Arizona State, without their starting quarterback, they hammered Iowa with a ground attack. Bruce Snyder's team getting it done for the Pac-10. The Pac-10 and SEC are unbeaten so far in postseason play. Fade pattern for Spotwood, incomplete. Jockeying for some position there with Deshad Carter. He has been all over Spotwood tonight.
The officials have let a lot of stuff get by. You can see him kind of slapping each other with those hands. Carter may have been guilty of grabbing that left arm of Spotwood, but the entire game the officials have been letting them get away with this, Donovan. You have to know when they're letting you play like that, you just got to continue to play and let your guys get over and get them the football.
If nothing else, it should tell Syracuse's defense a little something about how physical they can be in their perimeter. They certainly have the safeties and the corners to do it. 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun, quarterback draw. Stopped near the first down at the 40-yard line and a flag down. Lamar Chapman with his 6th tackle of the night. Holding face mask against Syracuse. That'll back him up.
Problem with holding is the penalty is taken from the spot of the foul.
David Woodbolt has been busy in the second quarter. A number of penalties thrown.
Hold, offense, 10-yard penalty, spot foul, repeat, 3rd down.
Yep.
Total penalty yardage, 13 yards. 3rd and 20 at the Syracuse.
Corey Bowen may have been guilty here.
Center gets the snap. There's the little rip That's Travis Oaks. When the guy goes to the side like that, Tim, I don't know. An offensive lineman is allowed, when the guy sinks the rip, the offensive lineman's allowed to clamp down on it. That's pretty ticky-tacky call on that penalty.
That's a former center talking to you, folks. Played for Don James in 91. Well documented. Your prejudice for offensive linemen.
Centers especially, Tim.
Whistle stops play. Preliminary indication that K-State may be guilty this time.
A timeout.
Oh,
Kansas State.
Yeah, you want to say Kansas State, David. That'll get some of the alumni upset. Remember, so a late timeout taken just prior to the snap. Mike Stoops did not like the alignment. Many memories made. Back to January 2nd of 96. Tommy Frazier running for 75 yards, making it a rout of Florida.
This Tostitos Fiesta Bowl memory is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Unbiased help and low commissions for investing the way it should be.
Backs are over 7 yards per carry. Frazier adding more numbers, more yards to those. Big, oh, they don't have him yet. Look at Tommy Frazier. How many tackles can one man break? Touchdown.
Someday I'd like a slightly larger house. Security for my kids, maybe even a little bit for retirement. All right, a lot.
Schwab's Mutual Fund One Source gives you access to hundreds of no-load funds. And our valuable tools can help you build your portfolio. Call now for our free select list.
Because part of setting a goal is finding a way to reach it.
Five and a half minutes remaining in the second quarter, along with Ed Cunningham and Michelle Tafoya. Tim Brando on this New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to all of you as we bring in the new year with the first Alliance Bowl matchup of the 97-98 postseason. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Syracuse trailing 14-3. Looking now at a 3rd and 20 after the penalty from their own 40-yard line.
It's where offensive coordinators make their living, is with Paul right here.
2 for 6 on 3rd down so far. McNabb finds Johnson. Has it at the 42-yard line of Kansas State. A couple of yards shy of a first down, but a penalty flag back in the Syracuse backfield. And they continue to back up.
Now you're going to go to 3rd and 30. Now you have to start thinking about just getting some field position and punting the ball away. 3rd and 30 is an impossible call for Syracuse.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
And it appears that the numbers game really catching up to Syracuse now.
You can see number 55 in the middle of your screen, the center again. I believe that's who they're calling on the holding. He had a hold of his jersey. It was a little stunt, defensive line stunt. Joe Bob Clements, the defensive end, came inside. Bowen's got a hold of that jersey a little bit.
3rd and 38. The original line of scrimmage was the 49-yard line of Syracuse. McNabb going for it all. It is caught. And it's the speedster Turner that made the adjustment on the ball with Dimitri Denmark in pursuit. And what a big play for the Orangemen. 41 yards and a first down.
Nice job by Donovan McNabb. I thought they would play for field position, but Pasqualoni just showed us earlier with a fake field goal. He wasn't going to play this close to the vest. A great catch by Turner, came back behind Denmark to make the play. That ball may have been purposely underthrown by McNabb.
At the 37 of Kansas State. Nothing doing for McIntosh. Jeff Kelly wrapped him up.
Jeff Kelly earlier made the mistake of not filling on that little isolation play right there. He was not going to get caught in the defensive backfield. He brought the wood to the fullback and made the tackle for a loss.
Well, that decision by Pasqualoni tells me that he understands with playmakers like Kelly on defense that he's got to be bold. Maybe that's in keeping with the philosophy that got him in trouble with a fake field goal.
As big a call as the fake field goal was, that was a huge call to get that 3rd and 38 converted.
2nd and 11 out of the twin tight end look. McNabb's pass tipped into the air, intercepted by Travis Oaks. Pass was intended for Roland Williams, tipped into the air, and Oaks, the junior star outside linebacker, takes it away.
Pretty good throw, right on the money by Donovan Darius. Roland Williams just couldn't hold on to the football, and Oaks makes him pay. McNabb playing a good football game. You can see that ball went through his hands and actually hit off of Roland Williams' face mask. That's why the ball got so high into the air.
1st and 10 at the Kansas State 46. And Bishop is feeling it, and he finds McDonald again. McDonald had the touchdown reception earlier. And this is an offensive football team now that's playing with a great deal of confidence.
If you're Syracuse and you are on defense, you have to be thinking we need a stop. I know we're tired. We've been on the field the entire 2nd quarter. It seems like this quarter's taken forever. These guys need to suck it up. Somebody needs to make a play.
Three-step drop and another bullet to McDonald. Kept those knees off the ground and has another 1st down at the 30-yard line. Rod Gadsden, number 9, the cornerback, brings him down.
3-step drop, and you can see McDonald using those hands again. Remember, the officials have shown all night long that they are going to allow these guys to play out on the corner. McDonald using that with his hands, getting open on the quick slant play.
Kansas State's receivers, Ed, did not come in with a lot of pre-game publicity, but they've proven to me that they're very physical.
And Ron Hudson, the offense coordinator, said this month has been huge for these young guys.
Out of the shotgun, Bishop take it himself. What an adjustment. But no room off the corner. Gadsden comes up to give help to Moreland Greenwood, number 52. For a brief moment, as he broke clear, it appeared he had room. You always think he can make a big play.
That's why Norm Gerber says we have to leave a lot of guys in defend. He is like a running back. And look at some of the hits he is big enough to take.
Listen to this.
Bishop carries.
Norm Gerber, when we met with him, the defensive coordinator of Syracuse, said it's amazing this guy has stayed healthy through the entire season because he's taken hits like that in every single ball game.
Out of the eye, 2nd and 8. Here comes another hit. Off the wrong foot and caught again. McDonald, though, really not out of bounds. Gadsden pushed him out, but remember the rule. No such thing as freedom to catch the ball and then being given a reception when forced out in the air in college football.
McDonald again showing that great jumping ability. Whoa, that's a close one, Tim. Looked to me like that left foot slid inbounds before it went out of bounds. Here we'll take another look at it. Watch the left foot. Does it get down? Yes, it does. Tough call. Tough call.
Let's go down to Michelle.
Guys, McDonald, after that play, said, yeah, my fault, my fault. I did not make a good catch. He admitted that he was out of bounds to his team. Back to you.
A little psychology from the receiver.
Wow, I don't know.
One of those, let's get over it and have another play.
Possibly, but I thought his left foot barely nipped inbounds before it slid out, Tim.
Michael Bishop has a hot hand and has been the difference in this 14-3 K-State advantage.
What are you doing? You can't
Hey,
spell
I
Pluto.
do not dabble when it comes to Scrabble. Watch me now.
You're getting on my nerves.
Prolific, as in prolific score.
Nice word, Ice.
The Iceman spelling prolific.
Quite a coincidence.
Hey, give me
And
five.
he gets a double word score for that, Coach.
Hey, that's like Penny spelling unstoppable, penetrating, or MVP.
Like you spelling shrimp.
You got me, Chuck.
Yeah.
You should be on stage telling your funny jokes. Come from miles around to see the funny man, Chuck.
Sellout crowd here in Tempe as Kansas State leads 14-3 with Ed Cunningham, Tim Brando, Michelle Tafoya on the sidelines with 2:27 remaining.
This college football bowl summary is sponsored by Nike.
And you see that we've seen so many championship games here in the past. Nebraska, the last recipient. The Alliance game, will be played for the title here next year. Notre Dame, of course, over West Virginia. That was the game, when you think back to that championship game, Notre Dame winning that year. Ismail was the story, the Tony Rice year for Coach Holtz.
Coach Holtz has to be happy. Look at that bowl summary. You know he's back in Miami, just smiling that big cheesy smile. You tell me, Tim, does that left foot get on the ground?
Right foot.
It is the right foot. Don't know if he had control of the ball, though, Tim, as he rolled over.
3rd down and 8. Oh, they flood the zone to the tight end. Swift. Oh, how Swift. Touchdown, Kansas State. His 4th reception of the night. This one for a touchdown. In all 80 yards, his 3 receptions in that first drive led to Kansas State's first points of the game. Now Grammatica for the extra point to give them an 18-point cushion. What a well-conceived play.
Rolling everybody to the left side. When you have a guy like Bishop, you better get a bunch of people over there. They had a convoy set up for Justin Swift. Donovan Darius right here just cannot get, it's got to get lower on him. Swift goes 250 pounds. You have to go down at his legs. But watch the entire Syracuse defense. They all flow to the right. They snuck a few linemen out to the backside. There's a good look at some offensive linemen downfield. Brian Hanley has nobody to block.
Watch this hit that Bishop has to absorb, though.
Jason Poles going right to the head. Also Gibbs, who's an outside linebacker. They line him up at defensive end sometimes. Didn't matter, though. He gets the last lap. He goes to the sidelines after the touchdown.
Kansas State trying to prove that they're a team that deserved being here in the Alliance. You see 5 plays, 54 yards, 147 off the clock, and Swift with the 28-yard touchdown reception from Bishop, who is making a strong case for the MVP in this game in only a half's play. Don't forget, coming up Friday night, Nebraska and Tennessee. And it could be for the national championship. I look at that game, and I think about Peyton Manning and what he can do with all of those receivers, Price, Fearless Price, Marcus Nash, Copeland. Those guys are coming off a relatively poor performance in the SEC championship game. They dropped a number of passes.
You got to think that they feel the challenge, but I think the biggest challenge for Tennessee will be, can we protect a hobbled quarterback? It will fall on the offensive line of Tennessee.
And remember the trouble they had in defending the option. They'll see plenty of that from the Cornhusker. Jim and Craig and Lou will have more on that, I'm sure, at halftime. Green gets all of it. Kevin Johnson to bring it up. Look out for this year. Averaging over 37 per return. Could have been ranked #1 in the country had it not been for the few opportunities he had at kick returns this year. This one goes for 55.
They set up the little picket fence to the left. You can see all the orange jerseys. Good block there by number 15, Johnson, as he gets him out of the way. And watch him get up the sidelines. Wow. That was really close to going the distance then. Really close.
Syracuse needs it. Could not have come at a more opportune time, trailing 21-3 with 2 minutes left in the half. Kevin Johnson in motion. McNabb decides to keep it, and look out.
McNabb carries
Denmark able to make the play. And there you see the quickness of Donovan McNabb out of that option. And the problem for opponents of Syracuse having to deal with the different formations when they're defending the option.
And you hit it on the head. Watch right here when he sees he's got to get to the far corner. See how he sped up, faked the pitch. He turned it into a second and third gear, and that's why he got to the edge. He saw that he had a long way to go and kicked it into that higher gear. That speed is what kills on the corner for an option quarterback.
Well, we'll see plenty of that in the Orange Bowl from Scott Frost, but Syracuse has a different wrinkle, don't they, out of the option?
They can always run that play action with McNabb's arm. They fake that option and drop right back and get guys over top of the safeties.
Middle handoff, that's D. Brown. D. Brown, touchdown. We're getting our money's worth in the second quarter of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
It's amazing. We talked about how these teams were mirror images. Both of them can run the ball very well out of that shotgun formation.
Downing to hold. Trout for the extra point. Another knuckleball that manages its way through the uprights. They have hit it a bit too high, but Brown now 5 carries for 51 yards.
Most people would, most people would think in the shotgun formation it's a passing formation, but they run a little kick out, almost a counter tray, and D. Brown does the rest. Missed tackle by Lamar Chapman. He's got to come from his safety position and make the saving touchdown. Jeff Kelly, the all Big 12 linebacker, just doesn't have the speed to catch up with D. Brown. Nice finish of the play, cutting back against the grain into the end zone.
And it could not have come at a better time for Syracuse. The MetLife Blimps are celebrating their 10th year of providing aerial coverage of sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. Combined, the Blimps, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2, have traveled over 600,000 miles since the program began. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, our College Football Today crew in Miami with the College Football Today halftime report. Jim Nantz, Craig James, Lou Holtz with all the latest bowl news. We'll have a look at the FedEx Orange Bowl. Quarterback who's not getting quite as much attention. That's Nebraska's Scott Frost, plus a look at Texas A&M linebacker whose parents fled Vietnam. That is Doc Wynn, who's a hero both on and off the field. All of that coming up with Jim, Craig, and Lou at halftime. A very quick scoring drive for Syracuse off of that key 55-yard kickoff return by Johnson. 2 plays, 45 yards.
Syracuse down big. You need those quick scores.
Gerald Niesman. Again, a penalty behind him.
Niesman returns.
Back inside the 10-yard line. The marker flew as Niesman hit the turf at the 17-yard line. And O'Neal among the many down there, number 27 in the white and orange, to make the play.
They're going to get a block in the back here, Tim, right where the tackle was about to be made. Kansas State on the receiving end, got a guy in the back. Watch number 36 coming down on Bucky Jones. He cannot put his hands on him. He cannot do it. Number 36, Chris Johnson, a defensive end. He's got to know that he can't touch me. You see the guy's numbers from behind, don't block him. It's better just to let Bucky Jones make the tackle.
Still plenty of time. 141, though poor field position. And you see that Syracuse can stop the clock if, in fact, Kansas State decides to play conservative here.
As well as Bishop has played, I'd be surprised if they don't try a couple down the field, Tim.
Quick pitch to Hickson. Well, Pons went high and paid a price. Hickson beyond the 10 to about the 13-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup. Kansas State taking their time. Syracuse will call the timeout and have 1 remaining with 1:23 to play in the second. They trail 21-10.
After a game of 7. Second.
What are you doing? You can't
Hey,
spell
I do
Pluto.
not dabble when it comes to Scrabble. Watch me now.
You're getting on my nerves.
Prolific, as in prolific score.
Nice word, Ice.
The Iceman spelling prolific.
Quite a coincidence.
Hey, give me
And he
five.
gets a double word score for that, Coach.
Hey, that's like Penny spelling unstoppable. Penetrating or MVP.
Like you spelling shrimp.
You got me, Chuck. You should be on stage telling your funny jokes. Come from miles around to see the funny man, Chuck.
Let's see. Oh, it says you've been seen in the movies.
That should read at the movies.
And you've built models, but never really actually modeled. Well, quite frankly, you the man!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Is she my co-star?
Now she is.
Tim Brando, Ed Cunningham, Michelle Tafoya, happy to have you with us. In Tempe, Sun Devil Stadium sold to capacity for the 27th renewal of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl game.
McNabb looking at that clock, wondering, hey, am I going to get another chance before this half is over?
2nd and 3. They mishandle the snap, and Bishop will take the safety. Out of the shotgun, there had to be a problem with the snap count. He appeared surprised to receive it as quickly as he did.
Always a concern when you have your quarterback in that shotgun snap. Watch the snap. You know what may have been the problem there, Tim? They were doing a running play. And as a center, it's very difficult to get the shotgun snap accurately when you have to block back on a defensive end. They were going to run the counter tray, and Kendall Jaycox, the center, may have just put a little too much on that ball, and Bishop could not handle it.
Well, let's point out that Kendall Jaycox is an outstanding center, and in fact is the most versatile offensive lineman they have. There you see the conversation between the two. But it appeared to me as if Bishop may have been surprised that he received the ball a half count too soon.
But you like to see Bishop going over to his offensive lineman. Of course, Jaycox doesn't look like he wants to hear much of it right now. He's saying, look, we got to use our head, guys. Everyone just calm down. We've got control of this game. But things like this, man, is that a huge momentum changer.
But again, you've got to re-kick and give Syracuse another crack with 1 timeout remaining.
And as easy as that drive looked for Syracuse the last time, Paul Pasqualoni has to love the fact that they're getting the ball back with a couple timeouts, 1 timeout left, and 1:19. With a guy like McNabb, they can go a long way.
2 critical mistakes, one by each team in this game. One, apparently the fake field goal. You have to question the call there. Here is a matter of execution by Kansas State that could tilt the game back to Syracuse. Each team with a timeout remaining, and the Orangemen, no doubt, happy to have one. And the gift deuce, courtesy the snap count difficulty between Jaycox and Bishop.
And even bigger, you have to kick the ball from the 20, not the 35.
Johnson again. He started it all last time with a 55-yard return. And this time he gives them even better field position. Travis Litton down there to make the stop. And with a timeout remaining and the ball at the 44-yard line of the Orangemen, they have plenty of time.
Let's see if Jaycox did not seem like he was early on the snap. Like I said, the only thing I can think is he put too much on that ball, and Bishop could not handle the snap. It hit him in the hands, but maybe just a little too much oomph on that ball. Because remember, they were doing a running play. Very difficult for a center.
Johnson, who's been active, is the motion back. McNabb runs the option into the boundary. Not a bad idea with only 1 timeout remaining. Travis Oakes ushers him out. And you look at the quarterback comparison in the air. Bishop having the better of it against McNabb. And again, you think about yards per completion. These are 2 big hitters. McNabb, 18 yards per completion. Bishop is 17.5 yards per completion. So when they do go up to the air, they are very productive.
McNabb knows, though, right now, with 1:08 and 1 timeout, you got to be careful about throwing the ball across the middle. You saw him there on the option. Get out of bounds to conserve that timeout if you have to try a field goal.
2nd and 4. Running the post corner again. A lot of activity between Kevin Johnson and Jared Cooper. But they have allowed it throughout the evening.
Got to be honest with you, Tim. Not that I've been less than honest this whole game, but I'm really surprised that the officials are allowing these defensive backs, especially from Kansas State, to bump guys and grab their jerseys and move them around. I mean, they're really letting these guys play.
Now remember, out of the Big Ten, that is a league known for its physical play, both in the interior as well as the perimeter. 3rd and 4, quarterback draw. McNabb. Donovan with a first down inside the K-State 40. And with the first down, the clock stops for the chains to move.
But you still have to keep rolling. You have to get your guys to the line of scrimmage. So as soon as that clock starts, when they set the chains, you're just about to start to snap the football.
Syracuse still with 1 timeout remaining.
Nice job by Syracuse.
Out pattern. Incomplete. Now the marker comes down. Turner working on Demetric Denmark, and this time they flagged him.
You have to wonder, a guy like Donovan McNabb, you know he's been hounding the officials all day saying, Bill Snyder wants no catch, uncatchable ball, can't blame him. But you got to figure McNabb has been pounding on the officials saying, guys, you got to start giving me some calls. Maybe that's in the back of their minds.
Pass interference on the defense. It's a spot foul. Automatic first down.
See McNabb, he knows he has to go to the sideline, conserve their timeouts. Good job by Semino putting pressure on him. Let's see if Denmark's on him. You couldn't really see anything there. Had to happen way before the ball got there.
Yeah, and it has been happening before the ball's gotten there. That's just the point you were making earlier. Crossing pattern complete to Spotwood. Right in front of Deshad Carter. And again, chains move. And Syracuse quickly to the line of scrimmage for first down.
They needed a 2-minute drill at the end of the Pittsburgh game to win it. They are putting on a clinic of how you operate under 2 minutes.
Fade pattern for Spotwood. Incomplete. And he has Carter with it. Boy, what a tremendous weekend it is. And you think about our halftime show, our College Football Today crew in Miami at Role Players Stadium. Jim Nantz, Craig James, Lou Holtz, with scores, highlights, facts, and I'm sure they'll pontificate from time to time.
Oh, I think they will. It's good to know Coach Holtz is letting them stay out past midnight. Didn't get the curfew too early on those guys.
It's not often you hear that from him in pregame. 2nd and 10. Quick curl. Caught. 24 seconds remaining. Darrell Daniel, his first reception, junior from Lancaster, PA. They elect not to use the timeout.
Look how quickly they've gotten to their formation, though, Tim. They're doing an excellent job.
And it's not a spike, but it is batted down. Darren Howard knocks that one down, number 49, the sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida. You know, you look at that and you think at first he's got to spike it, but they're taking an extra shot. That tells you about the maturity of McNabb.
Watch how quickly they get to the line, and that's why they don't have to spike it. All the guys hustling. Look at Bo in the center saying, guys, get to the line of scrimmage. Remember, the clock stops because it's a first down. All the receivers jogging to their spots. That's why they don't have to spike it. They're only killing about 2 more seconds to get the play off.
But on 4th down, they will try the field goal. It would be a 34-yard attempt.
Trout has had trouble all day, though. He's been hitting those low ones. Expect Bill Snyder to pack a bunch of guys in the middle and try to get their hands up to block those low kicks.
Kansas State deciding to take their last time out. And Bill Snyder with a little debate with a linesman.
Bill Snyder better be careful. He ended up about 10 yards onto the field. Does not need a penalty on his team. That would be an automatic first down.
Well, you think of where they place the ball, the snap, which hash mark will this kicker get? Because all of his kicks have been low and fading to the right. Unlike Grammatica's, they draw from right to left. That's not the case with Trout.
And as you get closer, look at the hash marks. See how far they are outside the upright? As you get closer to the end zone, that angle becomes more severe for the kicker to try to get it in between the uprights.
I'm sure that's what Snyder is trying to get his point across with the linesman about, and obviously Paul Pasqualoni has seen his team fight back. Think about it. You get a safety, then 3. Now suddenly you are right back in it, only a touchdown and an extra point.
And it's a lot happier locker room when you go inside. The coaches have something they can work with.
Downing will hold a 33-yard attempt. He got it airborne and a little more air underneath. 5 unanswered points in the last 4 minutes. Keyed by the safety off the mistake between Bishop and his center, Kendall Jaycox.
Trout again did not get a whole lot of air under that ball. If number 3 Cephas Scott would have been a little further left, he may have been able to get a hand on that thing.
Well, you could see again the trajectory of that kick from that hash. That favors Trout, and I really believe that's what Snyder was talking about.
Oh, he wanted to move him to the other hash, no question. Much tougher kick for a right-footed guy.
4 seconds remaining in our half. It's been a very exciting first half, as expected, as advertised. And don't forget, on tomorrow it's UCLA and Texas A&M, the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. The Bruins against the Aggies. And then it's Tennessee, Nebraska, Friday night, 8 Eastern time. Peyton Manning, one last crack at the big prize. And you think of the outstanding backs, Green, one of them, and of course Scott Frost, whom I also believe has a lot to prove in this opportunity that he has for a shot at a national title.
You know, and here's something interesting, Tim. Kansas State comes in here ranked number 9. The only loss on the year is to Nebraska. When Nebraska was probably playing their best football in the middle early part of the season, you have to wonder, why is Kansas State not ranked a little higher in the ranks? And Bill Snyder, that's one of the things they're fighting for, is respectability.
Non-conference schedule is what did him in with the pollsters. But again, you look at this. That's why this is a statement game for both Syracuse representing the Big East and Kansas State in the Big 12. And that got a piece of the Wildcat in that front line. But apparently it is recovered by Kansas State. And it's Swift, who's been everywhere tonight. He's caught 4 passes, 1 for a touchdown. And we are at the intermission. 5 unanswered points, though, for the Orangemen as they get back in this game by a score of 21-15, trailing the Kansas State Wildcats.